Hi, everybody. Sorry I started a little bit early today. Todd come home. He's not feeling very well. Um, I wanted to go over the TBI press conference that they had. Um, so we're going to talk about that. And y'all know that's how I give my opinion. So let me say this very quickly. Hello, Poppy, darling. Let me say this very quick. Thank you, Sassy Ann.
Space for us. And so he's going to talk about the results of this 3-month operation. Rob.
Good morning. My name is Rob Burkhart, and I am the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the TBI's Internet Crime Against Children ICAC Task Force. I first want to thank the 4 TBI ICAC agents for their hard work and dedication to protecting kids online every single day. Their efforts and investigations made this operation happen. I also want to thank the TBI agents assigned to the Cybercrime and Digital Forensics Unit, the Criminal Investigations Division, the Drug Investigations Division, local, county, law enforcement agencies, and our federal partners, who all assisted with this operation. Operation Protecting Tomorrow had 2 goals. 1, identify and locate child victims of sextortion, and 2, identify and arrest those who seek to sexually exploit children online. During the operation, we identified and located 18 known child victims of sextortion in Tennessee and 1 who lived in Alabama. The ages of the victims were between 11 and 17 years old. These cases derived from NCMEC cyber tips reported by popular social media platforms, including Snapchat and Instagram. We are still actively trying to identify and locate an additional 22 child victims of sextortion throughout the state that we know of. It is imperative law enforcement identifies and locates these children if they become aware, because too many children feel trapped. They don't know who to turn to and might end up turning to self-harm. Kids need to know that they are not alone if they fall victim to this crime. There is an army of law enforcement officials, teachers, parents, and trusted adults kids can tell to get the help that they need. As part of the operation, we also executed 10 residential search warrants.
Thank you, Flies.
12 arrests.
Thank you, Sassy Ann, for the
These
disclaimer.
Derived from NCMEC cyber tips, undercover operations, and tips from the community. 5 children between the ages of 6 to 12 years old were identified and rescued from further abuse and exploitation. They were victims of brand new child sexual abuse material being produced by the offender and posted to social media platforms. 181 electronic devices were seized, resulting in over 250,000 images and videos of child sexual abuse material that were found on these devices.
250,000. 250,000. That's a lot. That is, oh my gosh. Oh, thank you, Flies. I do. My mods are very special to me. They're very kind people. Hey, Jack, or still the real Jack. Hello. Hello there. And I'm just going to say this just so you guys know, okay? If any of my subs or, watch Knowledge is Power, I'm good with that. I am all good with that. I'm a grown adult, and am not going to tell anybody who they should watch or who they should like. But please do not mention her in my chat. For real. You watch who you want, but yeah.
Our work to analyze that evidence, however, remains ongoing, and that number will definitely grow. I've investigated internet crimes against children for almost 8 years, and let me be clear, what we're announcing today is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this kind of crime. Sexual exploitation and sextortion of our children happen every single day in our own homes and is only getting worse. Kids are using electronic devices and the internet more and more, and the predators know this. As a parent myself, I get it. It's hard enough to raise and protect our children in the real world, yet now we have to do the same in the digital world.
Let me see really quick, you guys, if the one on Facebook is a little bit louder. Let me see here. I'm going to share this tab instead because I believe it's a little bit louder.
Some of that specific legislation.
There we go, you guys.
On the possession of children's sex dolls has been critical, and you'll hear more about that in this investigation. As well as this year, she carried artificial intelligence legislation, which is really tough because most people don't even understand that space. But she carried that for us this time. And again, critical for us in addressing the really sick nature of the crimes that happen in this space. And I want to thank you for that. We also want to thank all of you for your support and partnership. We have also with us several agents from our ICAC squad here. We thank them for being with us this morning. Now, I'll turn it over to Rob Burkhart, our special agent, assistant special agent. What are you, Rob? Yeah, there you are, buddy. In charge in this space for us. And so he's going to talk about the results of this 3-month operation. Rob.
Good morning. My name is Rob Burkhart, and I am the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the TBI's Internet Crime Against.
Okay, just to let you guys know, if you hear something and you're like, oh, wait, we already heard that, it's because I went to Facebook, my wonderful mod, Sassy Ann, put the link there. I popped over, and you can hear it a lot better. Also, it does have the closed captioning up. So that's how we roll over here. This is what is important to me. Content about our children is what is important to me. My subs know it, my mods know it, and that's how we roll over here, okay? Oh, thanks, Jack.
Children ICAC Task Force. I first want to thank the 4 TBI ICAC agents for their hard work and dedication to protecting kids online every single day.
Oh, thank you, Mom of an Angel.
Their efforts and investigations made this operation happen. I also want to thank the TBI agents assigned to the Cybercrime and Digital Forensics Unit, the Criminal Investigations Division, the Drug Investigations Division, local, county, law enforcement agencies, and our federal partners, who all assisted with this operation. Operation Protecting Tomorrow had 2 goals. 1, identify and locate child victims of sextortion, and 2, identify and arrest those who seek to sexually exploit children online. During the operation, we identified and located 18 known child victims of sextortion in Tennessee.
And let me tell you, 18. Some people, because we know how people are like 18. That's not a big number. Let me say this. In my opinion, 3 would have been a good number. 18. Forward progress. Exactly, Be the Bean. Be the Bean, I love your channel. I just want you to know that.
And 1 who lived in Alabama. The ages of the victims were between 11 and 17 years old. These cases derived from NCMEC cyber tips reported by popular social media platforms, including Snapchat and Instagram. We are still actively trying to identify and locate an additional 22 child victims of sextortion throughout the state that we know of. It is imperative law enforcement identifies and locates these children if they become aware, because too many children feel trapped. They don't know who to turn to and might end up turning to self-harm. Kids need to know that they are not alone if they fall victim to this crime. There is an army of law enforcement officials, teachers, parents, and trusted adults kids can tell to get the help that they need. As part of the operation, we also executed 10 residential search warrants and made 12 arrests throughout the state. These investigations derived from NCMEC cyber tips, undercover operations, and tips from the community. 5 children between the ages of 6 to 12 years old were identified and rescued from further abuse and exploitation. They were victims of brand new child sexual abuse material being produced by the offender and posted to social media platforms. 181 electronic devices were seized, resulting in over 250,000 images and videos
Wow.
of child sexual abuse material that were found on these devices. Our work to analyze that evidence, however, remains ongoing, and that number will definitely grow.
And these people, like I said, all these organizations come together to try to find our missing children. I've talked about trafficking many times on this channel. I've talked about so many different missing children cases, and even harm that's came to children from their own family. And these individuals are setting and looking at the dark web. They're looking in every crack they can look in. And I couldn't imagine being the person who is looking at all these horrific, heinous things on a computer and noticing a child that possibly you have a missing child flyer with that child's picture on it. What a devastating look. That job, to me, these individuals in these agencies should be getting the credit they deserve. Like I said, there's a bad apple on every tree, probably more than one, but we can't discredit what law enforcement and these organizations are doing just because they don't come out and tell us, everything that they're looking at. There's a lot of things they hold close to the vest. There's a lot of things they have to hold close to the vest. And when you're looking at, and I'm not calling out any one creator, but when you're looking at some of these creators, if I had a missing child, I honestly don't think that that some of them would be my top pick on helping me get the word out that my child is missing or something's happened to my child. One bad apple don't spoil the whole bunch, girl. Yep, Donny Osmond said that.
I've investigated internet crimes against children for almost 8 years. And let me be clear, what we're announcing today is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to this kind of crime. Sexual exploitation and sextortion of our children happen every single day in our own homes and is only getting worse. Kids are using electronic devices and the internet more and more, and the predators know this. As a parent myself, I get it. It's hard enough to raise and protect our children in the real world, yet now we have to do the same in the digital world. We as parents need to know what apps our children are using, what the apps do, and know what our kids are doing online.
And I've said this, about my daughter and my granddaughter. My daughter knows every app my granddaughter gets on. My daughter, she actually, if my granddaughter starts speaking to another child online, my daughter wants to know this child's mother. She wants to know the father. My daughter, she wants to know who my granddaughter is conversing with. And there's nothing wrong with that. And let me tell you, the majority of the parents that my daughter ends up having a conversation with is very appreciative that my daughter is like that. There are so many children who get on social media that don't have anyone to stand over their shoulder. There's many children who get on these different games. I'm not going to call out any specific game. A lot of us with grandkids or younger children know exactly what games we're talking about. And there are adults who you know, weasel their way into these chat rooms and different things like that, under the pretext that they are another child also. I pray God keeps his hand over these law enforcement and guide them in protecting and saving our kids. Me too, Flies. Yes, Sassy, and they have grandkids, they have children. Absolutely. Absolutely. And how would you guys feel if you had a job like that and you're giving it 1,000% and that there are people who are discrediting the jobs you're doing? They're discrediting law enforcement. Yes, Genevieve, I am. Thank you for noticing. Genevieve, you spelled the SEX word in chat. Go in there and change it, girlfriend. Lord have mercy. You know, YouTube. But they're being discredited. They're being discredited by so many because there are so many who feel like that they, sitting behind a computer, can do a better job than what these trained professionals are trying to do for our children. And believe me, I'm not one of them. I personally do not want to do law enforcement's job. And I will never claim that I know better than what these people know, right? Genevieve, really, you want to argue with me, Genevieve? I understand that that's what they're talking about. But you know how YouTube is, Genevieve. It may be politically correct, but I don't think YouTube cares about it being politically correct. I don't think AI, who goes through and looks at the chat. Okay, Genevieve.
The social media companies know exactly what our kids do every day. So we as parents must do the same. I now would like to introduce Lieutenant Andrew Boatman. He's with the Knoxville Police Department, who is the commander of the Tennessee Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force.
Thank you, Rob. As Rob said, my name is Lieutenant Andrew Boatman. I'm with the Knoxville Police Department. I am the commander of the Tennessee ICAC Task Force. The Tennessee ICAC Task Force is a network of 65 state and local law enforcement agencies across the state of Tennessee who, along with their federal partners, operate under the Department of Justice in the Regional Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force program. using funding from the DOJ's Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention and the Tennessee Office of Criminal Justice Programs, we work closely with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children to protect the children of our state by providing training and
Thank
technology
you,
to
whoever took care
investigators,
of that for me.
facilitate cooperative investigations across jurisdictional lines, and ensure that victims of sexual exploitation and abuse are identified and their offenders are brought to justice wherever they may be. Operation Protecting Tomorrow is a perfect example of the impact that can be achieved through collaborative efforts. We're grateful for the dedicated men and women at multiple state, local, and federal agencies who have committed themselves to protecting our children and supporting the ICAC program. Thank you.
We'll open it up for questions.
Did you guys say how long this has been going on?
We started it back in February, and then it went through April, so about 3 months.
Was it 3 months already?
Yes.
Are you guys gonna keep investigating now? Is this task force gonna be around for a while?
Yeah, the ICAC task force for TBI has been
2024,
around
the
since
year of no
2007.
apologies.
So this is all we do all day, every day.
Thank you, Mom of an Angel.
Every day we get cyber tips from NCMEC. We get undercover operations, tips from the community. So if there's a crime involving a children and the internet or an electronic device, then we'll investigate it.
You talked about being a parent and having to be involved. I mean, I'm a parent too. Fortunately, now my kids are adults, but I still am concerned because they're young adults, 20 and 23. What does a parent do? I mean, how do you approach them? How can you start that conversation? Because it is a difficult conversation. Kids can be very ashamed of what's going on. Talk about that process to try to educate people on.
Yeah, the biggest thing is just make sure you have the open communication with you and your child. I know with my kids, I know what I see every day, and I know the dangers out there. So I make sure that they know not to, my 2 golden rules are don't talk to anybody that you'd never talk to in real life. And then don't send anything that you wouldn't send to your mother or your grandmother. And my boys know that
And I hate to cut him off right here, but what people need to understand when we think about internet, crimes against children, what a lot of people don't understand is the fact that sometimes there's other kids who are being used to enter into, these other children's lives. There are children being used to basically, get other children. It's sad. It's sad. But it's just not adult men or women, that are trying to get our young people's attention. It's also younger people being used to, live bait tactics. Thank you, Jack. That's a good way to put it.
they're not allowed to chat with anybody. That's one of the biggest things with online is if you take the communication away, then that limits the exposure that bad guys, these predators have with our kids to reach out and start grooming them.
Look at those pictures up there a minute ago.
Thank you, Mom. I'll call you Mom of an Angel. I'm going to call you Mom.
How this exploitation comes about. I mean, how do these old men find these young kids and be able to get them to do what they're wanting to do by sending pictures of things?
Yeah. The ages vary. We actually have minor kids that actually are subjects to that are trying to sextort other kids too. So the age it's from minors all the way to the, to older people. It really starts with platforms like Instagram, Snapchat. usually boys, tendency are the biggest victims with sex extortion. And what happens is that they'll get, somebody will message them. Usually somebody maybe around their age. It'll look kind of like somebody of their age group, and they'll start chatting with them. That communication, that friendship kind of grows. The whole grooming process begins. And then, unfortunately, that child will then send an inappropriate photograph of themselves, and they usually ask for the face. And then while they're chatting with the kids online, in the background, they're doing their own research, figuring out where these kids go to school, who their parents are, who their teachers, who their pastors are, who their friends are. And then as soon as they get that inappropriate photograph, they send the victim a photograph of them and then a list of all their friends, threatening them to request either more photographs or gift cards, usually money. And if they don't send it, then they'll send the photograph to all their friends and family.
And we can go back. Maybe I'll try to do this at some point. Go back and discuss the cases where these children are, being put into a position where, like they talked about self-harm, and they also talked about unaliving themselves. They do this to these children who then are, we've seen many times, I'm sure you guys have seen it, where, and girls are, kind of at the top of the list, where maybe they go to a high school party and they get intoxicated. Some of the younger boys will, not just one, but many will do things. They will put it on video. They release it to everyone at school. These things are out there. These girls are devastated, and they do at times take their own lives because of it. And it's horrible. It's horrible.
There's a comment made about the social media companies knowing what our kids are doing every day. Are you in contact with any representatives of these companies?
I'll take that. Yeah, it's a much more complex challenge, right? We are working at the federal level with our state representatives and senators on addressing these social media companies and their responsibility to monitor this space, right? One of the biggest challenges right now is this continued effort to encrypt all messages. And what it really is the effort by these companies to wash their hands of the responsibility. And that's why we continue to fight against the movement for encryption, because what it will do is it locks out all of us from being able to see what's going on, right? It locks out policing, and it locks out the company itself, allegedly, right? And so that's why there's a national movement to hold these companies accountable for the information that they have and their responsibility to properly monitor and notify policing when there are illegal activities occurring on their platforms. And so it is a very complex and challenging situation.
Now, just to say this about Facebook, I remember watching something about individuals quite a few years ago who worked for Facebook, and they talked about some of the content that they were watching, right? And how heinous some of the content was, the videos that they were watching to determine, if the videos could go through under Facebook standards. They were saying that allegedly that was their job to watch these videos, and some of them was so bad that they spoke about not being offered counseling and things like that. But that's for a whole different live.
We do have regular communications with the security arms of those companies, but there's an ongoing debate and challenge on that, and so we'll continue to push in that space to make sure that that there is legal access for us and those companies for accountability, especially in the sharing and the production of child sexual abuse materials.
For the child victims that you identified and located, were there resources available to them afterward?
What do you mean, Salty Fry?
Yeah, absolutely. So in all of our operations, what we will do is assure that we have the non-governmental organizations are.
Wait, what are you saying, Salty Fry? TBI hasn't gotten any of these kids? So you're saying that none of these law enforcement agencies have done anything to help find these children? What makes you say that, Salty Fry? What makes you say that? So are you saying that they're just making it up, that they've actually, in my opinion, saved some of these children? I don't know what you're saying there. Oh, there's no way you'd be able. Yeah, I couldn't watch it either. I couldn't either, Salty Fry.
Partners that provide those types of assistance, everything from counseling to education to care. We make sure that those connective services are made available, and that they're engaged with these families. You know, the key here is prevention, right? I think the one thing that we all have to understand is we can keep this from happening. And it's really the responsibility, as I started out, with all of us as a community, engaging with children to make sure that they understand that the power of the networks that we have now, right?
Let me ask you guys this. In your community, in each of you guys' individual communities, I know in my community, 25 years ago, we had different things that our children can do, right? We had skate parks. We had movie theaters. We had different things that we could do with our kids. Today, nothing. We have nothing. And it's very sad to me, because if we're not trying to give our youth activities to do, then what are they doing, right? They're on social media. All their interactions are on social media. I don't know how many exactly are missing in Tennessee, because I know that with the Summer Wells case, that put Tennessee on a course of trying to. It brought what goes on in Tennessee out into the open more. To be honest, I don't think people really would have paid that much attention to missing children in Tennessee if it wasn't for Summer's case. I tell people this all the time. Look at your own state. Tennessee is not my state. I don't live there. And, you know, I'm the last person who is going to come on my channel and dog on TBI or, you know, FBI or anything like that. I don't exactly know the number of children who are missing in Tennessee. But yes, that is what they're talking about because it is the TBI. So they are talking about Tennessee.
Our cell phones that are no longer cell phones, that are just computers, that to understand, and we're putting them in the hands of babies, to understand that we have a responsibility when we put that device in the hands of children. We have a responsibility, every one of us, to protect that child. And that means knowing exactly what's happening.
I agree, Poppy.
On their device, knowing exactly what they're doing, how they're engaging, and who they're engaging is critical for all of us. And so it is a village responsibility that we all protect our children. And there's too much of this happening. You mentioned the offenders that you saw the photographs of. They get online and create personas, especially as Rob mentioned, for young teen males, right? They create these personas to interact with that's part of your brain, right? Especially as a young male, that part of your brain that is seeking pleasure. That's what they do. And once they connect, right, then they start to manipulate. And that manipulation results in very, very devastating actions. And so the key, I think, what the most important thing that we want to express, right, while this operation was specific and targeted, and we continue those types of operations to this date, and our task forces will continue. But I think what's critical here is these operations are vital to uproot these predators that are there online, that are operating within our borders, that we can take control of, that we can get and can hold accountable. And you know, and again, going back to what I first stated with our mission, right? That guilt shall not escape. So we've got these individuals, and we're going to make sure they're held accountable. But we also want to protect the innocent, right? And
this is the thing, y'all. Yeah, me too, Poppy. We used to go skating every weekend. Yeah, Salty Fried. We had a community pool. You know, now we have nothing. Well, hello, Debbie. Debbie. Okay, so we don't have anything for our kids to do anymore. And I think that is so sad. But yeah, we did. We went bowling. We went roller skating. We had a community pool. The movie theater, when I was younger, it was $1. It was $1 to go watch a movie. Now, you can't afford to even go to the movies anymore at all. Hey, Corey, at all.
And there's no one more innocent than our babies, than our children. And so that's a critical piece with what we do every day. And so we're asking, and this is really our plea with the community, is take responsibility, hold your children accountable. Don't allow them to go into their room and get online, either on a handheld device or a computer. Don't allow them to do that without oversight.
And that is Corey, I love that you said that. Corey said, especially in school, only computers, no home ec or shop classes. We always had shop classes. I even took a jewelry class where we made jewelry. It was so cool. Now, I know in high school, I did a 4-year horticulture program. But that's when I got into high school. we used to have so much to keep us occupied, and it's not there anymore. And I don't like to get political on my channel, but I think it'd be very interesting if people actually went and seen a curriculum for high school students and even middle school students. Well, even in grade school, absolutely, what these children are being taught now.
Don't allow them to chat. Rob made great points. Don't allow them to chat with anyone. If there's not a physical person that you know, right, and and you know everything about them, there shouldn't be a conversation happening, right? And there should never be a conversation, frankly, that takes place between a child and an adult that's not appropriate, right? That should never happen. And so I think we got to do a better job if we are going to be serious in this space to protect our children.
You talked about not only the sex exploitation, but I think you mentioned there were 6 kids that were taken out of a situation where they were being used to actually produce child pornography. How did that come about? I know with your others that you got tips in on sex exploitation. Did those come about the same, or was that just further investigation into some of those you arrested?
Yeah, we'll protect investigative technique, obvious, always. But I can tell you that we have we utilize technology to our greatest advantage, and there are great pieces of technology. And I've said this, and I'll continue to say this. And our legislators are here with us, and that is the responsibility for our legislators is to make sure that those tools continue to be made available to us, that we're utilizing in this space, right? I get that there are tools that people aren't aware of or aren't familiar with, and there are always that lack of knowledge.
Yeah, Debbie, it's TBI. It's I'm showing it on TBI Facebook right now.
Or limited knowledge of the technologies can cause knee-jerk reactions to limit our ability to use certain technologies. I would encourage our legislators, rather than immediately jump into making legislation to ban the use of certain technologies for policing, I would tell them to sit down with us and have conversations before they do that, because their misunderstanding of what that technology can do and does do needs to be clarified. They also need to understand that in policing, right, we have what's different than everyone else. Anyone else out there utilizing these platforms and these technologies. Policing, we have a whole different responsibility because we have to follow the U.S. Constitution and the laws that are in place as a result of that Constitution. And so we have very strong parameters, and we have to follow those parameters in order to assure that when we use technology, that we're using it legally, lawfully, and within the U.S. Constitution. And so we don't.
And see, that's what gets me too, because I think what a lot of people don't understand is, even though, okay, I know people are going to be like, law enforcement, doesn't do that all the time. And of course they don't. But, constitutionally, they're supposed to follow the guidelines of our Constitution. Where does the protection look? Bottom line, trafficking is billions of dollars. It's a billions of dollar industry. Billions of dollar industry. I'm going to talk about that, Debbie. Just give me a couple minutes to finish this out, darling, and we'll talk about that.
We don't have carte blanche to utilize technology. But all that to say that those investigations and those identifications happen with great use of great technology that some people want to limit.
I didn't know if it was just something that was discovered in the course of the other investigations, once you got into, you know, all the devices you collected and that type of thing. I
Yeah.
wasn't trying to get.
No, I understand. It's just that I want to make sure that, you know, as we do investigative technique, one is we won't ever discuss all of the techniques because there's always countermeasures happening, right? And so we're not going to give up everything we do because as the rest of the public is watching this and learning, so are those predators
You're fine,
watching this, right? And so we'll be very protective of technologies. We'll be very protective of tactics and techniques. But I can tell you, yes, we utilize a number of technologies and techniques to be able to identify those victims and to be able to rescue them.
Rob, I was wondering if you could speak to two things. Could you talk a little bit about the shift in language from child pornography to CSAM? And then also I want to give you an opportunity to talk about these resources, NetSmarts and CyberTip.
Yeah, I know federally, and especially in the ICAC community, we're trying to get rid of the word child pornography. Because if you think about it, pornography it's accepted in society, right? And then when you add the word child in front of it, that just sounds like that child was consenting to that sexual activity. So we need to take that away and call it what it is, which is child sexual abuse material.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I think it, oh, you like her jacket, Debbie? I think that's a great point that they made to change the child P, change that verbiage, because these children are not consenting to what's being done to them. And this is just my opinion. If there is a child who is consenting, it is because they were raised into it and they were groomed into it, and they don't know that it's not wrong. And that happens more than what people think, that these children, some of these children are born to these different scenarios. They don't know anything else. They think that what they're being told to do and what they're being made to do is just, it's normalized for them. And it's very sad, very sad. Yeah, the new name does sound worse, but it's not only children. I was on Facebook and commented on a post and was asked if I wanted to be someone's friend. Wow. Yeah, that's weird.
That's what we at TBI will always call it for now on. And I think that's going to be moving forward within the ICAC community.
Resources here we talked
Yep.
about
So NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, is a great source for resources. They have a platform that's geared strictly to kids. It's called netsmarts.org. It's with a Z at the end. They have brochures, PowerPoints, anything for every age group, for parents, teachers, anything you can imagine is on that site, describing internet safety for children and the parents. And then the big one is if you are a victim of exploitation or sextortion or any crime on the internet involving a child, please report it to the cyber tip line through.
I just tried to pull that. I just tried to pull that up, and it's saying the site isn't. Let me try it again. NetSmart with a Z .org. Here we go. We'll talk about that here in just a second, you guys.
NCMEC, anybody can submit a tip, and I guarantee that law enforcement will lay eyes on it. And,
No, Salty
see
Fry,
what
you're
we can
not
do.
blocked.
Anything else?
Thank you guys for what you do.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
Folks, thank you. If you want to step out, and I will meet you out in the lobby. I do want to get a picture with him before y'all break today. If we could just hang out for a minute or two, that'd be great.
Okay, so let's get back to our Eagles for a minute, you guys. And let me find myself here. My little whippersnappers. Okay, so we're going to pop over here to NetSmarts. And you guys can pull that up. And the netsmarts.org was created for, it provides age-appropriate videos and activities to help teach children to be safer online, with the goal of helping children to become more aware of potential online risk and empowering them to help prevent victimization by making safer choices on and offline. That's great. You guys remember this site. Remember this site. It has videos. I think it's wonderful that they created this. Now, actually, it was created in 1999. What are you talking about, Kiki? The site's name is NetSmarts. NetSmarts.org. NetSmarts.org. It was created in 1999. And how many of you knew about this site? Honestly, how many of you knew about this site? I never knew about it. I never knew about it. But we know about it now. So, NETZ, I'm sorry, NETSMARTZ .org. I had never heard of it. I had never heard of it at all. Wow. Hey, I'm just glad there's something productive we can learn on my channel. Okay? For real. For real. Okay, I'm at an hour and 30 minutes. What else? There was something else that I was going to shoot. Thank you, Sassy Ann. And I apologize for the beginning of my live today when I, talked about what I talked about because, you know, that stuff, the drama stuff, I don't care about it. I don't care if somebody calls me names. You know, I don't know exactly when I was called the name or anything like that. I never pay any attention to, you know, people like that. For real. But I don't know what this person is trying to do. I don't know what the fuck knowledge is power is even talking about. For real. I have not a clue. But she obviously wants my attention for something. A year ago, I did a live. It's called Talking Don Wells and Prayer Garden. That was a fucking year ago, lady. Are you serious? Go fucking somewhere. Find something to do. Talk about a missing child. Talk about a missing child's case. Talk about something that's important. I know, Debbie. She said I was a crypt keeper. Oh, thank you, flies. Look, I'm going to say this just to make it very clear, okay? Y'all don't need to tell me or tag me in somebody calling me a name because I really don't care. Y'all don't need to be tagging me about something that somebody said 3 fucking years ago. I don't really care. That shit is not important to me, okay? It really isn't. So do with that whatever you want to do with it. I don't need to watch a 3-hour live to see if Remain Calm's name is mentioned in 2 seconds of it. Okay? Now, I cannot do anything about anyone on social media talking about somebody else. Okay? We're all supposed to be grown adults here. But hey, thanks for sharing the video, Knowledge is Power, because I'm going to say this one time only. If I say something on my channel, I'm not apologizing for it. I'm not. I don't lie about shit. If I get something wrong, of course I will apologize for it. But don't share my stuff thinking that you're doing it to attack me. Okay? Because I'm right here. I'll say it 1,000 times. Y'all want to bring me into shit? I'm right here. Okay? I'm at 1 hour and 30 minutes. So, Heather Lynn, you wanted to tell me about some stuff? I'm right here. Knowledge is power. You want to call me a name? I'm right here. Okay? Because personally, I don't know Heather Lynn. Okay? I don't. And I'm not saying that in a mean way. To be honest with you, I don't know Knowledge is Power. I don't watch her. I know of her. I know some things that she has said. But, you know, not my cup of tea. So fucking what? So what? But don't think that anybody's going to intimidate me for any freaking reason. I don't want in your bullshit drama, but I'm right fucking here. Okay? So, I don't know what's been said about other people. It's not my fight. Because honestly, I choose my battles. And any live that I've ever done, I say what I say, and it's my opinion. And I'll give my opinion. Okay? Yeah, she shared it on her community wall. I don't know why, but go check it out and give me the view on it. How about that? The only problem I ever had with the girl was when Lips was hanging out and I was friendly with Lips and she was going after Lips. She was going after Knowledge is Power. Both of them were in my chat and hanging out on my channel. And she came at me for that. She didn't like that. She didn't like that I allowed Knowledge is Power, or not Knowledge is Power. What's her name? Innocent until proven guilty. To come over in my chat. And I'm going to say this. This is my channel. My channel. Not nobody else's. Nobody else pays my bills. Nobody else. Me. Now, I do have wonderful mods who might send me something and say, hey, this looks interesting. But you can ask any mod I have that I do my own research. I do my own research. I don't expect my subs or my mods to do my job. But this is my channel. And there ain't one person that's ever going to come over here and try to tell me who I can have in my chat and who I can't have in my chat. Because it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. And I damn sure ain't going to take my time and argue with someone in comments. And I think that's probably what she's trying to show, maybe, is the comments on that when I wouldn't argue with her. I don't freaking know. I mean, shit, man. I don't freaking know. But thanks for sharing my video. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, girl. You can show my video. Dang, I even got commercials on it. Dang, that had 2,000 views on it. Let me see. I'm trying to see if she, yeah, it was a thing where she was, coming into my comments and she kept saying stuff and I never deleted it. My understanding it's still freaking there. But no, I'm not into people stalking me on freaking in my comments and shit. So I don't know what you're trying to prove there, but if you got something to fucking say, come and state it's a statement in that video. You fell into that crap pot, hook, line, and sinker. I did. I made a statement in that video about what? When she was arguing, when her and Lips were arguing. The other Sharon, I don't know what you're talking about. So is that the only thing I can figure is when, yeah, I haven't seen you for a while, the other Sharon. They are probably laughing because you fell for their crap. Oh, you think so? That they were just trying to, personally, I don't care. I really don't care. I'm not dealing with them people anyway. They can sit over and laugh all they want to. I never did. Let me tell you something. I don't even know them people. I do not know them fucking people. Okay? I don't watch their channels. I don't go into their comments. I don't say freaking anything about any of them. So, I really don't care. To be honest, I don't care. So really, I don't know. Yeah, Dawn said about the hammer. Where Dawn was talking about the hammer, it was said it was a lie. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at it because I never said that him talking about the hammer was a lie because I heard him say it. Oh, okay. Yeah, you know more about that stuff than I do because, I don't put myself out there like that. But no, I'm not defending nobody. Believe me, I know who the people are that I would come and defend, and it's none of them. For real. Not because I'm a bitch and I'm saying bad things about them. I don't know these people. I don't know these people. I honestly don't. Yeah, I was tagged. I was tagged along with a few other people by someone named Heather Lynn. I don't know Heather Lynn. I think she was in my chat one time when I was talking to Beverly. And let me tell you guys this. I mean, it's out there when I was talking to Beverly because Beverly had been around since the very beginning of Summer's case. I had never known of a problem with Beverly. So Beverly come up on panel and said what she had a problem with. And you know what's fucked up about that? Because I didn't even say anything bad about knowledge is power. I never said, I didn't even give my opinion on the situation. I was just letting Beverly have a minute to say what she needed to say without other people being on the sideline in her ear. Because guess what? That's what I seen. I seen a situation happening with Beverly where, in my opinion, there were other people in her ear. The problem was easily solvable. Beverly did what she wanted to do. Because of, so I don't understand why that is something that Seth, he has said it more than one time. Seth has put it out there that about these electronic devices. Oh, they should give them back. That way we have them there when Sebastian gets home. Let me tell y'all something. Seth has made enough money within a matter of a couple months he could go buy new electronic systems. He could go buy a brand new PS freaking 5, 6, whatever. He could go buy one and have it sitting there waiting for Sebastian. He's made enough money where he can go buy him a new laptop. It's not even going to put a dent. It's not even going to put a dent in the money that Seth's made. Not a freaking dent. Do I believe that there's a great possibility that, look, there's a lot of things that are weird to me in Sebastian's case, like the fact that, Seth had, had Sebastian on weekends before where he had to work, right? So why was that weekend different that, he couldn't keep Sebastian because he had to work? That's kind of weird to me. It's weird to me, and the answer's never been given on why there was a conversation about money to start with between Seth and Chris. I don't know if Katie was involved in that. I guess I have a he didn't even pay for the food at the vigil. T-Rev did. Well, why should Seth have to do that? He's the boss. He's the boss of everybody, right? He's the boss man of everybody. Law enforcement told him it wasn't a good idea. Well, yeah, because we turned around and we seen, for those of us who followed Summer Wells' case, not that the two cases are familiar in any way that we know of, besides the money and these parents making money off of a missing child. And I'll say it 1,000 times. Seth wants that communication with Katie. Thank you, Flies. Thank you. The county commissioner. The county commissioner has put more than one vigil together for Sebastian. More than one. And why does Seth feel like that he's got to take the credit for everything being done in Sebastian's case? He got people to do exactly what he wanted them to do. Exactly what he wanted them to do was make him the big kahuna, right? Well, as far as paying taxes on that stuff, it's not in his name. It's not in his name, Debbie. It's in his sister's name, right? It was to the school from the church because the church wouldn't let them live stream. So is that when Seth was standing at the school and he was like, Chris isn't here? I couldn't understand that because I was like, well, was Chris supposed to meet him there or something? I don't know. That was all weird. Well, Sue, that's the thing. What he said about Trevor Lee, in my opinion, he used very poor judgment in doing that. Also, I kind of noticed that a lot of creators who were 1000% Seth have kind of stepped back from that. I've kind of noticed that with a couple creators. That's the day before the vigil. He apparently was looking for Sebastian at the school. Hey, I got a question. May sound stupid. And I don't know if anybody can answer me, but when Seth allegedly went to North Carolina, and people were like, yeah, we ain't heard from Seth. We think he might be in North Carolina. Did he ever show any video or pictures or anything of him actually being in North Carolina? Does anybody know the answer to that question? It's just a question. I don't know. I don't know or not. For real. I do not know. All right, whippersnappers, let's get over here. And you guys talk about whatever you want in chat. I mean, if there's questions that we can talk about and maybe help us answer it, please feel free to do that. I'm just going to talk about this other case too real quick. Okay, so this Arizona man put his wife in the ground, and she was not, she had not passed away. Oh, he claims he has no Wi-Fi connection. He claims he has no Wi-Fi connection. Then how does, if he doesn't have Wi-Fi connection, then how are people live streaming him in an area where he doesn't have Wi-Fi? Because then they would have to have Wi-Fi, right? I mean, look, I'm social media stupid, so I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so anyhow, he received a life sentence without parole after he pled guilty to red rumming his wife and putting her under the ground while she was alive. David Pagnano, 62, was sentenced on May 9th for the 2017 death of his estranged wife, Sandra Pagnano, 39, after she was kidnapped from her home by him, driven to a remote location, and put in the ground while she was still alive. The victim, who was amid divorce proceedings with her ex-husband at the time and shared 2 daughters with him, was bound and gagged and buried in a hand-dug grave. This case is horrific. Circumstances surrounding the abduction and red rum of a young mother. Sandra was kidnapped from her home while her children slept nearby, bound in packing tape, and driven to a remote location where she was buried while she was still alive. This is sad here, you guys. The evidence revealed she vigorously struggled while she was in the ground and was likely conscious for up to 5 minutes after being put in the ground. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. That is horrifying to me. That is horrifying. Yeah, the Wi-Fi in North Carolina. Corey says one more reason to stay single. Girl, I get you on that. I mean, these single women, they can't even have boyfriends or girlfriends anymore because you never know, especially if they're single mothers, what these individuals are, you know, even with them for. So he received an additional sentence of 16.5 years for kidnapping, fraud, schemes, and forgery. The sheriff office launched an investigation into the disappearance of Sandra in 2017 because of suspicious circumstances during a contentious divorce. Detectives also recovered 2 notes indicated to have been written by Pagnano's ex-wife, which were filed in the divorce proceedings after Sandra's disappearance. They stated she was leaving him and handing him full custody of their children and ownership of her vehicles and house. So not only did this guy do that to her, but he also obviously forged a couple letters that said she was going to leave him the kids and everything. Through forensic examination, the notes were said to have been written by the offender. Pagnano was located by cell phone analysis in the area of the gravesite days before his wife was found. He was then charged with first-degree red rum. They said, I hope the life sentence brings some closure to the victim's family. But I'm sorry. This lovely lady right here, I don't know how that anything could give anyone any peace of mind knowing what this man did to their loved one, especially the fact of, hey, May, especially the fact that this woman, how horrifying. How horrifying. I'd be freaking out, y'all. There's no way to think that her last moments, yeah, that's horrific. That's horrific. Just horrific. Okay. All right. Anybody have anything they want to say? Feel free to say it right now. My OCD, we got 15 minutes. We've got 15 minutes. And like I said, I apologize. I did change tomorrow. The topic tomorrow is at 5 the same time. And it is on Madeline Soto. I've worked really hard on it. I didn't do it today because Todd actually hasn't been feeling well. And he came home from work early because he wasn't feeling well. So I just thought that you know, with the TBI doing that press conference, that we would go ahead and talk about that. So that's the only way that I can figure that anybody might, you know, take the press conference and the internet, you know, crimes against children to, you know, kind of put that with some, but that's the only reason I could think that. Oh, thank you, Corey. I'll tell him. What, Karen? Only took a few minutes to sign the Magna Carta. Well, no, I'll tell you what, though. I am the type of person that if I misunderstand something, and I'm wrong about it, I admit when I'm wrong. And on this, you know, I will apologize to knowledge is power. And I am sorry I fell for that because I didn't the last time. So maybe it was just the day I've been having, you know, the month I've been having. But for that, I will apologize for. And no, ma'am, you are not a liar. I will say that in your behalf. Whether it matters or not, I don't know. But I think that's why people are affiliating the you know, Sebastian Rogers case with that case. That's the only thing I can figure. Because to be honest with you guys, I mean, that can be used as content. Oh, I'm not, Debbie. I'm not. I just wanted to make it clear one last time. And I ain't dealing with that stuff no more on my channel. It ain't gonna happen. But yes, I'm surprised. Why is T-Rev living with Seth? I thought T-Rev stepped back from Sebastian's case because he was being threatened. Am I thinking of the wrong person? Because I thought T-Rev, you know, there is something that I wanted to show you guys, which I thought was really interesting. So let me find it here because I know I got it. And it was something I was gonna show today. Shit. Let me think for a minute. Hold on, I had a brain fart. No, I think it's in my email. Let me look. I thought it was interesting. YouTube sent me an email and said you cannot monetize your live to thank your mods and subs because copyrighted content had been detected. I know that. I played 2 songs. I forgot to privatize that. Oh, man. All right. I'll have to check that. I told you guys I was going to privatize it and I freaking forgot. Okay, wait a minute. I don't know if I can find it. Somebody did, I think it was a clip channel, did a clip on, they were talking about, flipping, what do you guys call them? People who make money off of missing child cases? Scam. They're not scammers. What are they called, damn it? Shows you how much I stay up with stuff like that. Okay, I got to remember where that was and who did it. It was from a clip channel, though. Oh, I remember. I remember. Oh, no. Yeah, Tragedy Pimps. Okay, so this is from a person that goes by the name of Joneson. Okay? And I thought this was really interesting. That's why I'm going to share it with you guys. The channel's just called Joneson, Jones apostrophe N. Well, no. Yeah. Okay. All right, here we go. Yeah, we do smoke too much. I do. Okay, wait. It says, to all future potential victims and families, upcoming is a list of YouTube creators that in your most vulnerable moments in life will take advantage of you and exploit you and your families for their own personal gain. Wow. Whether it be for clicks, views, or engagement, it all comes down to monetary gain. They do not discriminate. If you or someone you know are a victim, these creators will rejoice in that and use it. Wow. They will dig into your family history and personal background. They will use your every word against you. They will contact your friend, your family and friends, and they will use whatever info they gather to torment you. Please keep yourselves aware. Protect yourselves. Here is the list. Wow. Wow. Okay, so I have to say this. The opinions of some people are not necessarily the opinions of this channel. Okay, and so obviously Joneson feels that what she is talking about, in her opinion, this is the list. And it starts with The Pascal Show, Dolly Vision, Allegedly with Brittany, Crime Lines and Lies, The Lab, Terry Lynn, Crime Concepts with CJ, Smiley's World, Voices Behind the Wall, 1111 True Crime, and Justice for All. So these are channels that she feels. Thank you, Poppy. Thank you. Okay. So that's the list she has so far. Oh my God. T-Rad757, Bullhorn Betty, Jonathan Lee Richards. Oh my God, I still can't believe that Betty and JLR were doing the nasty for 2 years. 2 freaking years. I never knew that. Yeah, she's ratting them all out, ain't she? AB, J is for Justice, the interview room, any and all psychics. She says, I may have forgotten someone, so this list will evolve, and so will this video. Please take care of yourselves and each other. Let me tell you guys something. I never want to be on that list. I never want to be on that list. If anybody ever seems to feel like my channel should be on that list, please, 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 just let me know. Oh, I did privatize that. Yeah, I could use it, but I just couldn't monetize. But I privatized it anyway. I wasn't gonna try to make any money off that. I could have went the rest of my life without knowing about Jay in the Bed Olympics. That's hilarious, Wise. Oh yeah, Betty is telling. Oh, is AB your crush, Corey? Well, I'm sure that list is going to get bigger because I can name a few to put on there too. For real. You don't have parents or... No, I do not have parents or victims on my channel. Up on my panel. And I don't want... I really don't want to speak to anybody who is a person of interest in a missing child case because I am not a detective. I am not a detective. So, I mean, why talk to somebody who may be a perpetrator in a crime when something that you may say or something could happen to where what they have said can't be used in a court of law to help prosecute them for the crime. You guys see you know what I'm saying? I know of a few people on that list receive thousands from one person. There's a couple more that should be on the list that scammed and got thousands, but they are small channels. Secondly, you don't say rumors or speculation as facts. I try really hard not to, you guys. I try really, really hard not to. And if I say something that I think is true and I find out later that I misspoke or it's not true, I'm the first person who tries to say I was wrong, you know. Why the fuck would you think that, Sassy Cats? Why would you think I was doing my live outside? Inquiring minds want to know, Sassy Cat. Why did you think that? Well, this is what I always say. I just now got to a point here recently where I started monetizing my lives. And the only reason I do that is because YouTube is going to run the ads anyway. So why not make sure I get my part of that? And a lot of times I run my mouth so freaking much that I say stuff that, you know, YouTube doesn't want to handle that anyway. But usually, a lot of times, you know, even if I can't monetize something, they do allow me to keep like super thanks and whatever you guys call them, super thanks or, you know, things like that. That's right. My porch is in my bedroom. I don't know. Sassy Cat, you popped in here and made a comment. I ask you a question. The teacher's asking you a question. Was AH on that list? No, that's surprising, isn't it? You don't remind us every live that you're monetized. No, because I don't even think about it. I mean, honestly, isn't that weird? Because I don't sit here and think about how many subs I have or anything like that, because I'm just appreciative of all you guys, you know? I appreciate a lot that you guys come and hang out on my porch for a couple hours, uh, you know, and we can just have a conversation about stuff that's important to us. Yeah, I can't say my channel's a missing child channel, because even though we do a lot of times talk about missing children, I talk about a lot of different stuff. I mean, heck, I even talked about David Copperfield the other day. Yeah, that was weird to me that Trevor Lee is getting basically just sideswiped by Seth Rogers, and the creator wants to make sure to let everybody know how many people that they have in chat. That was weird. Oh, come on, Sassy Cats. You don't even go there. Hey, H, how are you? How are you? Monetizing. Yeah. Yeah. And I wasn't even going to do that. I wasn't even going to, you know, even try to get my little part of the ad revenue. But you know what? I've just come to terms with. I'll never forget. Cher said to me, "You should get a Cash App or something, because you work hard for what you're doing for your content." And you know, I was like, "No, I'm good." And here lately, especially with some of these cases, I've worked really hard. I've worked really hard to research and, you know, just try to give out the information on what I'm talking about to the best of my ability. And, you know, I honestly, that's just so important to me that I do that. Yeah, Trav did kind of get slapped in the face. Yeah, he went out, he said something about Duchess too. The people who seem to be trying to help Seth find Sebastian, and it doesn't matter if these people are out there physically walking around looking. You know, Duchess was dealing with the billboards and things like that. And I don't understand why those type of people that Seth would want to discredit. Why is Seth, you know, discrediting law enforcement? Why did Seth try to discredit what EquiSearch was doing? I don't understand it. I know a lot of people do not like Chris Proudfoot. but he's kind of kept his mouth shut. Katie Proudfoot, Sebastian's mother, hasn't said a whole lot of anything, and it's very sad to think that this woman whose son is missing has to put up with two of the biggest narcissists that I've ever seen. And I used to say that about Don Wells. I think Seth is kind of a few feet ahead of him in that race. No, on my porch. You did read it right, Sassy Cat. You read it right, girl. I'm just messing with you. We're hanging out on my porch. Whether I be outside or in my bedroom hanging out at my computer table or whatever. Welcome to my porch. Welcome to my porch. Come and hang. I'm going to write a song about my porch. I am. Because I have a really nice porch. People come hang out, 420, BYOB, bring your own booze, whatever you want to drink. You guys come and hang out on my porch. And you know what? I've got a 5-star bush too. When I hang out on the YouTube streets, I have a 5-star bush. It's got all the amenities and everything. Trevor, I have to look at that in a certain way. Absolutely, Trevor did and still, I think, does a lot for Summer's case. And so it was easy for him to kind of step into that role with the Sebastian Rogers case. But the sad thing that I see in that, and people can agree with me or not, that I think when, Trevor started surrounding himself with certain individuals and, maybe, you guys know what I'm saying, right? You did go on there and I said the porch. Yeah, as soon as I get all my stuff switched over, I'll probably be doing a few lives outside. He's not charged, so that's real. Oh, definitely he's got control issues. All right. All right, you guys, I got to get off here. Thank you, Flies. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, H. Davis. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you so much. And so hopefully y'all, have a good night. Tomorrow, definitely no ifs, ands, or buts. Madeline Soto is being talked about tomorrow. So you guys, I've worked really hard on it. I've said that before. And definitely, I hope that we can at least learn something or, something like that. But, Lisa, you can't call people trolls when you're being one yourself. Okay? You can't do that. We all just watched you in my chat come in and bring up something from 2 freaking years ago when we wasn't even talking about that stuff. Okay. So, girl, I don't know what to tell you, but I'm sure that there was no harm, no foul. And yeah. Okay, Chad's knocking and I'm getting off here. So thank you all so much. Have a great night and peace out, everybody. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. I really do.